Hello. Today we were playing Layers of Stardust. This first came out in early 2021. The story takes place in the 22nd century. Earth has discovered numerous planets for sentient life. A well-respected man named Jonathan Hope gets selected to serve as Earth's ambassador on a planet called Aora. The door opened with a quiet hiss. A familiar figure entered the room. The doctor smiled widely and greeted his patient and friend. "Jonathan, good to see you. I presume everything has been well with you?" "Good morning, Alan. I would say I'm glad to see you, doctor, but with the medication it's hard to tell if I'm feeling any emotion right now. I'm just going to assume you're thrilled that I am here. Also, I'm surprised you can tell whether it's morning or night. I've had my share of training in space before, even being involved in political history. It's not as hard as you think. Your body will automatically try to follow its circadian rhythm. I was surprised to hear you were packing up and coming to Imperial City with me. I can only say it's not as simple as that. I have orders coming from the Scientific Institute. They want an in-depth human-alien relationship analysis and cultural exchange report. Besides, I'm your doctor, and the UN decided that it would be best if the top researchers accompany the Earth ambassador, even if for a little while. Thank you for this. You made everything more manageable, and I don't know of any way it was to repay you." "Sure you can. I can think of a few ways myself." "No, Alan, that's ancient history. I hope you are not planning on bringing the attitude with you to Aora." "Of course I am. Besides, I may tease as much as I do, but I always keep my private and work life separate. That's why you are here." Alan smiled after saying that and attempted to produce the most innocent look he could muster, to which Jonathan only sighed. So that's how it's going to be. We're going to start just like that, not easing into it. There's therapy, thought Jonathan, not foreplay. Not that you have much experience with that, knowing your sexual history. Foreplay, sexual history, I can't say I follow. My, Jonathan, it's been a while for you, hasn't it? Okay, I get it. You're making fun of me now. Just trying to lighten the mood. Alan, you realize the stress-suppressing medication you prescribe me doesn't allow me to even experience a bit of humor. So you can try your best to be drop-dead hilarious, but it will remain stone-faced through all your attempts. I know. But who said I was trying to make you laugh?" Ellie's boisterous laughter sounded in Jonathan's mind like a bacon through the hog. Ellie's boisterous laughter sounded in Jonathan's mind like a bacon through the fog of his brain. He tenderly held the small computer between his hands as he would his sister's hand. "I see you have been making use of the memory stone. How are you handling it so far?" "The first days were pretty rough. It caused me to not have it. Initially, it felt too painful to even look at, but now I'm somehow appreciative. Yes, I'm appreciate having something to hold on to." Good. That's progress. Before we go any further, I want to remind you that your stress regulating medicine will run out in less than 2 days. I will not prescribe a refill. I don't think it will be necessary. You will need to be ready to face life again without the medication. However, be mindful that you still need to complete the course. The consequences of neglecting the last days can be harsh. I understand. Good, because I want to introduce a change in our sessions. I would like for Viridian to join us. What? You heard me. She is an integral part of your life, and as far as I can see, the only thing you have that resembles a family. Jonathan was forcing himself to calm down for a second, holding a scowl. "Alright, let's pause for a second then. How does that sound? A short break?" "Sure. Let me bring you some water or a drink." I don't need Just stop talking for a second and breathe. Ellen got up and walked across the cabin to the food and drink dispenser and quickly manipulated the device. Jonathan clenched his jaw, looking at the man's back, and tried to divert his mind from his annoyance towards the alien being. Here, take a drink. I figured out how to get something that tastes like grapefruit juice. Jonathan took the glass and looked at its dubious contents and then took a long sip. Afterwards, his face twisted slightly. Alan chuckled in response. Oh, yeah, this definitely tastes like grapefruit juice, thanks. You're welcome. Now we may continue. Jonathan finished the glass and nodded. His eyes closed for a second as if he was thinking about something intensively. The lights seemed to flicker for a second. A prism manifested next to Jonathan, and a humanoid figure suddenly appeared. Its silhouette kept phasing out, and sometimes it seemed not to possess a mouth or eyes at all. Nonetheless, an odd disembodied voice joined them. See, they're always here. I declare to not be always here, Jonathan, but since my presence is required, yes, peculiar. It's nice to finally meet you, Viridian. Is it okay for me to call you that? How do you want to be referred to as? You are the doctor. If I feel gratitude for the help you have offered Jonathan Hope. Not that you are concerned about my well-being, especially after all you put me through. Jonathan, please, can we have a civilized discussion? I bears the name Viridian, not singular, for we are many, stretched across moments in time and space, but we choose to appear as a unity before you. I ask to be explained the reason why my presence is required here. Right, from the start then. I don't have to explain to you how this looks, do I? I confesses to wanting to know. Human mental healing processes are intriguing, but from the data collected by my kind, it almost feels like you are providing a new source of code to break an information pattern that then rebuilds itself into a completely new way. It's fascinating. Cruelly, that explanation would suffice, Jonathan. Can you tell me how you met Viridian? Jonathan groaned and gathered his thoughts for a moment. Then the memory started coming to him, clear enough for him to answer. The first time she saw herself was 8 years ago. At first, all I saw were glimpses, short flashes of color. Then, in time, the dreams began, and she was in all of them. After some time, she all together appeared in front of me. As you know, I have an issue with my brain chemistry. Yes, it's quite unusual. It's a rare condition. It's not usually as rare as it is in your case. I find it necessary to say that there is nothing wrong with Jonathan. His brain is quite beautifully designed. Thank you. I find it necessary to provide more information to the doctor so he may better understand us, the AOA. Jonathan Hope's brain allows us a glimpse of this world. Your kind may presume that I manifest here only because of him. That's not true, but also not false. The sentient mind promotes a chemical reaction which, at a molecular level, generates a feel among the being. That's a correct condition of met in the environment. We can perceive your dimension the same way you do. When the AOA have no sight, yet in your world, we are able to see and perceive. We have no sense of resonance, yet in your world, we are allowed to vocalize and receive all your sound waves. Jonathan's an individual, but we sense many like him in this galaxy. I wish this to clarify that the AOA are many, and we are united as one, but we are also individual. It is believed by us, the AOA, that the individual existence is sacred, and we fight to protect this essential right. The AOA are present in many moments and places in this galaxy. So, you are not using Jonathan to sustain your existence on the plane. I affirm no act of mine has ever been committed with the intent of hurting Jonathan Hope. That would be a crime. She has used me. Jonathan, explain please. She took over my brain first and got me into the government. She then proceeded to impact the galactic agreements. That is correct. I admit that when the chemical processing field was much too weak for for my permanence on this plane. I has taken action and foots Jonathan Hope. I has made a reluctant decision to push Jonathan Hope into a path of dramatic turmoil. Jonathan Hope, you have wished clearly for your existence to be more. I have set in motion the labors needed to lead you towards granting your request and placing you in your new reality. Did Ellie know about this? Jonathan? She knew. She always said that her female intuition told her it was okay and that I should let Viridian do her thing. So I did. I let her treat me like a puppet pulling my strings. And all of this ended somewhat well. You're still here, Viridian. The galactic deliberations have been a success, and Jonathan's reality has become what he has always wanted. I maintain an internal task, one that is never complete. I have promised and assured Elizabeth Hope that Jonathan Hope shall always be protected. I has developed a feeling of parental endearment for Jonathan Hope. When did Ellie ask you to do that? Dr. Jonathan Hope, the current state of affairs does not permit further discussion on that matter. Oh gods, Ellie. The doctor tried to set the entity before him for any sign of disapproval and animosity. He firmly clasped his hands together and forced out a wide smile on his face.
How are you feeling now? Again with the feelings, even I can't feel them, Alan. I don't know, lighter maybe? Remember that the medication only rebalances and tones down your emotions to a controllable level. It doesn't deprive you of them. You know, I hate that because of those tablets. I can't even pretend I'm depressed. My brain just works on analyzing everything. After the terrorist attack that took Ellie's life on that flight, I realized nothing is holding me to Earth anymore. When we were kids, I promised Ellie we would both travel to see the stars, distant planets, and unknown galaxies. We would meet fantastic new animal and plant species and greet aliens on their homeworlds. After everything happened, I felt if I didn't accept this job, I would be breaking the most significant promise I ever made her. She agreed to become Earth's ambassador. Yes, I did. After letting the United Government know I sold or entrusted all my possessions to charity, I requested Ellie's memorial garden. I'm going away for life, Alan. I don't plan to ever go back to Earth. There's no home for me there without Ellie. What about romantic relations? Jonathan scoffed. Leave it to Alan to well any discussion. Jonathan scoffed. Leave it to Alan to well any conversation to the same old topic, he thought. I have had enough bad experiences as it is. Besides, there are more important things in life. Never mind that Viridian here was squazzing in temps. This is correct. Alan had a dirty look in his eyes, plans and possibilities swirling in his mind. He wanted to underside his bottom lip and giggled. Well, you have a whole new galaxy of opportunities before you. I think it was Ellie who told us to never waste time being afraid to do something because we will regret it later. She did say something along those lines, yes. Okay, this will have to be it for now. We should be getting ready to dock with the UFS Usera. I express his gratitude towards you, Doctor, for taking care of Jonathan Hope. He is my friend, Viridian, a very stubborn one, but I do what I can. I want both of you to try to talk to each other, communicate. It will get more comfortable in time. I think I can do that. Good, you may not think about it like this yet, but Viridian is probably the closest thing you have to a friend and family right now. She also shares her memories of your sister. Let her help you. Jonathan Hope, your sister Elizabeth was a strong, proud, and exceptional individual. I have felt great sorrow through you when we learned of her passing. I never knew that. Jonathan Hope, you have never queried. Now I understand, Alan. Good, if you forget, I will remind you. Since both of us will be working closely with the Imperial Palace, we will have ample opportunities to discuss this. Attention, we will be docking with the Imperial Frigate Usera and getting ready to hyperjump shortly. All passengers are advised to please return to their designated seats. Time to go. See you on the other side. Good morning, IFS Usera. We are on a direct approach. IFS LES, you are clear for docking Bay 7. Prepare for hyper transitions and proceed as indicated. Descend by 3,000 and maintain the course. No departure frequency at a time. You have a clear gateway. IFS Usera. Be advised we have 2 VIP on board. The human ambassador will need a personal security detail once the data transfer is cleared. IFS LES. Confirm. Our commandants received your earlier message. Every preparation has been made and supervised by Inspector Urias. Confirm. IFS Usera. Prepare for hangar descent. IFS LES. Docking Bay 7 has the energy window open. We are waiting for you.
The journey to the planet was calm and uneventful. The Imperial fleet was well known for its efficiency. Upon arrival, Jonathan soon found himself leaving the shuttle escorted by the Navy security force with Alan just a few steps behind him. I have received word that a security dispatch will be with us shortly. By all means, enjoy having an escort, Jonathan. I'll be just fine without a bodyguard trailing behind me. After all, this is my second time on O'Hara. Everyone will be vying and tripping over themselves for your attention. Just make sure you don't lose your unit translator. Alan, don't exaggerate. I'm sure they receive ambassadors from around the galaxy every day. Besides, I have taken the time to familiarize myself with the 4 major languages of the planet. Your stoicism will come in useful one day, I'm sure. Not today, I would say. You see, I'm confident they will be in for quite the shock when they meet you. If you say so, we'll know what they have in store for us once the security detail is here. Anything you are not telling me?
Human Ambassador Jonathan Hope, sir. The security dispatch reports for duty, sir. A loud growly voice resonated through the air, and a woman-like figure appeared.
Ambassador Jonathan Hope, sir. Yes. I'm Inspector U.S. Madness at the House El Canto of Demacia. I have requested to be the head of your guard throughout your service in the order, sir. Alan leaned forward closer to Jonathan. Eager much? Thank you, Inspector. I am. Sir, it's an honor and a pleasure to be the first of my people to welcome you to the Imperial seat, the gem of the galaxy, Aora, sir. As I pledge my life to the Imperium, so do I commit myself to protect you from any and all harm from now on. Your dedication to your world is an inspiration. Thank you, Inspector. Your words are incredibly kind, although I'm convinced my feats might have been over-exaggerated. Now, if we may, the journey was long and the Vulcan inspector furrowed his brow, moving closer to Jonathan, piercing him with a long, assessing look. Sir, are you okay? I'm sorry, what? I've never seen such ashen eyes. Are you ill? Ah, yes. Hello, Inspector. Good to see you again. Doctor, likewise. Is the ambassador well? Of course. You see, none of the races outside Earth has ever seen anyone with blue eyes. As far as the Institute knows, it's a mutation unique to humans. Are you saying the other race entirely of all known galaxies has developed blue pigmentation in their eyes? Sounds almost impossible. Get out your face in there, Jonathan. Almost impossible. I don't know what to tell you. Evolution is a capricious force, but no, none other. Looks like you are the only pair of blue eyes on a planet with billions of others. Forgive me, Ambassador. I will make sure to inform the palace on our way to repair them. I apologize for my indiscretion. I didn't mean to stare. We haven't been told properly. It looks like it's not going to be the last time. Inspector, do not worry about me. I can find my own way to the palace. Nonsense. Your jet car is ready, and you will be traveling with your assigned guard. The ambassador will have me by his side. Alan let out a deep, theatrical sigh, but said nothing in opposition. I will see you later, Jonathan. Alan. Ambassador, if you will follow me, the jet car is waiting. The palace has made all the necessary preparations for you. The Emperor and his son are awaiting your arrival. I understand the Emperor's son will be in charge of the upcoming events, visitations, and so on. Correct, Ambassador. The Imperial Prince is well versed in interstellar politics and is eager to meet you. Everyone is. There has been word that Underby has also sent a SEP. That sounds fantastic, especially since, from what I heard, Underby tries to remain politically distant. They would love to, but as the humans say, it's not about the chess you have been dealt, but how you play them. I'm not sure that's how the saying goes. Oh. Inspector, has there been any new incoming communication from Earth? I haven't received it. My apologies, Ambassador. I will answer your questions shortly, but right now I need to concentrate. Right, sorry. Beep beep bop. Jonathan suddenly studied his travel companion. He took a deep breath and exhaled silently. He couldn't help but smile gently at the small show of his anxiety. The inspector focused his attention entirely on the control console in front of him. He looked confident as he engaged in necessary mechanisms to start the engines. Beep beep boop. The Vulcan clenched his jaw and attempted to rapidly evaluate the next best course of action. Quickly and expressing a confusion set on his face when the many controls in front of him offered no answer or solution. Beep beep boop. Error. Beep beep boop. Error. In a brief moment of frustration, the inspector hit the control console. Nothing significance happened to the jet car, and he growled to himself out of impatience. Crap! Energy converter process. Anti-gravity. Energy to convert assets. Anti-gravity. Then the stream injector and power. Once power is green, full flow into the engines. What? Just do what I said. Trust me. Manus appeared to calm down slightly at Jonathan's words. He turned to look at the ambassador for a brief moment and quickly returned his attention to the console. With no questions and no outward signs of doubt, he obeyed. Boop, boop, boop. Manus hesitated for a moment, thinking if he should say anything. His ears twisted a few times in different directions and constantly pulling his large paw on the back of his neck. You're welcome. This stays between us. In the future, I can provide assistance, Inspector. Besides my diplomat duties, I'm also an ex-research pilot with knowledge of. I know who you are, Ambassador. You're a walking legend among my people. Our children learn about your family, about you. Manus took a deep breath. You will tell no one about what's happened. I will find you and do things to you. I'm sorry, what? And Jonathan scratched his cheek and blinked rapidly, trying to process what the inspector had just said. Manus was wide-eyed in panic. He intended to look at Jonathan, turn his head one way and another frantically. Crap, this is not what? Manus looked straight ahead and groaned instead of continuing to speak. His hands tightened on the steering handle as the minuscule vibration of the engines resonated through the cabin. Take your time. Listen here, I will not be patronized by a human. No, I will never disrespect you. You are my. Manus held his breath and then exhaled to allow tension to leave his body. He glanced at Jonathan and grunted again. This is not how I want our first meeting to go. I apologize. I do not wish to discuss this further. Manus quickly cut the conversation with his nostrils flared in annoyance. The jet car, which was hovering until now, wobbled upwards. The jet car was hovering until now wobbled upwards from the landing pad. The sparse infrastructure of the spaceport quickly disappeared under a light cloud cover.
From the window, Jonathan could see a vast stretch of land dipped in the most beautiful molten gold. The research he had done on the planet revealed wild grass areas where local fauna was predominantly yellow. It reminded him of grass fields back on Earth during long and hot summers when the warm breeze finally came bringing relief. What a strange and beautiful world Jonathan found himself in, 1,000 light years from home, with just one friend, an independent thrill-seeker and troublemaker, and the alien who was always there. Perhaps, but maybe only, Jonathan was right, Ellen was right, and he should make an effort to repair the strained relationship between himself and Viridian. In this strange new life, it would be crucial to make friends, build alliances, and more importantly, remember that he was not on Earth anymore. Although Jonathan was a human ambassador, he left his life on Earth behind. This was a unique chance to start something new. This also meant he would need to confront his own habits, fears, and comfort zone. Nobody would care about his prejudices and inhibitions. The Imperium seemed stable and internal, but shadows and dangers lurked behind each corner, some more dangerous than those on the Earth. Outside, the landscape started changing slowly, buildings appearing on the coast shore more often. Jonathan led away curiously from his seat, even catching Madness sneaking a glance at him a few times. Ambassador, sir? Jonathan's fine. Yes, Jonathan, sir. If you look down to your right, your new home, sir. I can't see anything. Give it a few seconds, just after the mountain range. Welcome to your new home, Jonathan. Eora City. Eora. I see homonymous with the planet. It's not just a name, but an idea. The ancient language of the Eora ways. Eora describes ways sounds during a starry night. It's the jewel city of the Imperium. Its ancient bones dig deep into the land and the history of the race. As the ship approached on a steady course, Jonathan started to slowly discern towers gleaming over the harbor. Their altitude decreased as the jet car began to circle the harbor, closing in on the hangar's entrance. Quickly, the rose-tinted daylight faded, replaced by artificial lands, and the ship sunk into the heart of the city. So that was an introduction to Layers of Stardust. We got to meet Jonathan Hope, as well as his team, including Alan, his doctor, and Viridian, who comes from a race of people called the Ale. And she's been helping, I guess, Viridian and her people together have been helping humanity integrate into the galaxy amongst the other sentient races. So we got to learn more about Jonathan and his past, including the fact that he had a younger sister who was very optimistic and hopeful for the future. She ended up dying in a terrorist attack while on a flight. So when that happened, that really affected Jonathan in a negative way. He really was depressed over that, and it really gave him no reason to stay on Earth. His little sister was the only reason that he found being on Earth worthwhile. It was made easier for him to accept the job of being an ambassador to a faraway planet. He accepted the job so he can start a new life far away, make new friends and relationships. So hopefully he'll have more success here on Eora. We also got to meet Madness, who'll be providing security for Jonathan. He was very excited to meet Jonathan. He heard about Jonathan all his life, so he's really excited to see Jonathan, this person he's been hearing from other people. So that's about all I got to say. So in chapter 1, we will be meeting the Emperor as well as his son, the Prince. That's all I have for now. All the information for the game is in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.